Grief. It's an emotion we know all too well as humans. Whether it's falling out with a friend or experiencing a death in your life, grief is an unfortunate part of the human condition. It's been explored by every entertainment medium possible. Manga, comics, TV shows, movies, and video games. It's everywhere. Because for better or for worse, grief is a part of the human experience. In my opinion, a lot of really impactful portrayals of grief in fiction come from the survival horror medium. Games like Dead Space, Silent Hill 2, Signalis, and a lot of other games tackle this theme quite well. However, while all of those are really good games and also really good portrayals of grief and depression and emotions like that, I haven't seen a whole lot of people talk about one game in specific, Cronos: The New Dawn. Like the previous ones I mentioned earlier, it's a survival horror shooter in which you play as the Traveler, a character named ND-3576. Her main goal is to time travel in order to stop a mystery infection from consuming the rest of the world. Now, at first that doesn't really seem like a story about grief. ND-3576 doesn't really have a stake in the world. She has no one she really cares about. She has no human or material attachment to anyone or anything except for the collective. And at first, she doesn't seem like she has a lot of emotion. So you might be thinking at this point, how does the Traveler connect to the overarching theme of grief? Well, she isn't the one experiencing it. Also, final warning, spoilers ahead. If you get spoiled past this point, that's not my problem. If that's what you're into though, hi! Let's begin this video. So as stated earlier, the character going through the process of grieving isn't the Traveler. It's actually another character that we interact with quite a lot as you play through the game. This character is none other than the Warden. When it comes to the Warden, there's quite a lot to unpack. When we first meet the Warden, he's presented as a benevolent but mysterious figure. He appears to just want to help travelers such as ND-3576 attain their mission by doing things such as pulling her off of the terminal when the ascendance sequence failed, and then informing her on how to fix it. Additionally, helping her out when the essences she's collected in her phylactery have started to malfunction. It seems altruistic, and honestly, one might even be inclined to think he's a genuinely good person. Maybe the time he spent traveling through, well, time, might have changed him for the better. Because his behavior is a stark contrast to what we see out of the Traveler initially. Whereas she is almost robotic and detached from everything that's going on, he seems fully in the moment and very willing to embrace human concepts, such as music, art, and books. However, beneath this cat-loving helmet lies a dark secret. Obviously, we already know this guy's a Traveler, but it turns out he's a little more than just a Traveler. He's a Traveler that goes by the rank of Pathfinder. His duty is to open up rifts in time so that travelers can get through there and extract their targets. Much like every other Traveler, the Warden also has to extract targets. However, when he went to the Steelworks, the Pathfinder was captured and locked up. This event led to him meeting his target at the time, Weronika Kaminsky. At first, their interactions were very minimal. She was there to interrogate him, to talk to him about what his mission was and figure out what was going on. But over time, the two of them grew close. I'll admit it, I don't know if they were just friends or if they were romantically involved, but either way, they had something going on, something that brought them closer to one another. As a result, he decided not to extract her. At first, it seems like a compassionate move, especially given that extracting a target means you kill them. Even if their essence lives on through your phylactery or the terminal, they're dead. They are gone. So that means any data she may have had on the outbreak that occurred in New Dawn is gone. Now, you would initially think that not extracting her is a mercy. However, what happens to her is much much worse than one would think. The Pathfinder, unfortunately, had developed an obsession with Veronica. He wanted to save her from being infected, an understandable feeling. After all, who wouldn't want to save someone they care about from certain death? Unfortunately, the way in which he did it is genuinely scary. In order to save her from the infection, well, quote-unquote, save her, he ends up dismembering her, and then using her essence to create the Traveler you play as, ND-3576. I don't entirely understand what happens there, or how he got another Traveler shell, but whatever. His main hope was that doing this would result in Veronica's survival, although obviously we know that's bullshit. When we first meet him, Veronica is already long dead, just as every other human is. And as far as we can tell, he's just a kindly old traveler who's helping us out. But obviously, there's that whole dark secret he's hiding with Veronica's corpse. The entire game ends with us finding that corpse, tearing it out of its socket, and then proceeding to hunt down the Warden, now revealed to be the Pathfinder, as he attempts to quote-unquote save Veronica again. Now, we arrive at the very end of the game. We get two choices. In one, we shoot him, and supposedly end the cycle in our eyes. However, this only restarts the loop, as Veronica goes back in time and is revealed to be infected. The alternative is to spare the Warden according to his pleas, so that he and Veronica have a chance to mend the timeline. However, that doesn't go as planned, because why would anything in this game go as planned? The Warden realizes that Veronica is infected. That's unavoidable, and as a result of forgetting everything from the previous few loops, he extracts her, and the cycle repeats. Now, you may be wondering how this is an analogy for the stages of grief. As we all might know, the stages of grief are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and finally, acceptance. Now, the Warden goes through almost all of these, except for acceptance. It all starts with him denying his duty to the collective. He denies the idea of extracting Veronica as he's grown close to her and doesn't want to fulfill the collective's mission. As a result, he also denies Veronica the opportunity to die. Next, we get to stage 2, anger. As soon as we, the player, find out the truth about what happened to Veronica, he's angry and very pissed off at us. After all, we were supposed to be his Veronica, his way of keeping her alive. So, in his anger, his immediate reaction is to seek out Veronica again. Finally, ND-3576 catches up to him, and she proceeds to put him down. After that lengthy boss battle, he gets to the bargaining stage. He's begging for a second chance, for a chance to do everything right again, to avoid the mistakes he made in the past. Now, if we follow the spare ending, that is where he falls into depression. He's depressed about having to kill Veronica, the very person he was trying to save, even if extraction was supposedly quote-unquote saving her. And just like that, the cycle repeats. He never makes it to acceptance. He never saves Veronica, and he never accepts her death. This entire game can serve as an apt metaphor for the idea of dealing with grief. It's about losing and accepting your loss instead of allowing it to consume you, which unfortunately, it consumed the Warden. Now, if we look at another aspect of this game, the infection, we can also see elements of loss in there. No one knows why it's there. No one knows what caused it. It's ever present. And ultimately, there seems to be no cure, even with the collective and the Pathfinder's best attempts. This could just be me looking into it too deep, but this could also be a metaphor for death. Sometimes it happens because of sickness or old age or whatever. Sometimes it happens for no reason at all. And no matter what, there's no cure for it. There's no way to stop it. There's no way to bring people back from the dead. And similarly, there's no cure for the infection. So all of this is a long-winded way to say that Cronos is a story about dealing with grief, and about how people can get trapped in that cycle of grief. I'll admit, the infection part is a little bit out there, but that was my thought. Anyways, with that, I'd like to end the video. I'm gonna go lie down. I'll see you guys around. If you want to join the Discord, the link is in the description. Reminder that it is 18 plus only. Thank you.